Welcome to another episode of the Booktroverts podcast.
Meg.
Today we are continuing our Harry Potter series. So we are finally on book 5, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. And we are going to be doing the same thing that we did in the other episodes where we talk about the book and the movie and things we're happy they changed, things we're sad they changed, things that we're a little bit indifferent on. And I don't think we need to do ratings because I believe we're both going to say 5-star. Am I right on that? Okay.
Yep. Completely
Perfect.
right on that one.
All right. So then we'll just jump right in to, let's start with things that were sad that they either left out or they changed, because I feel like this will be the biggest bulk. Because as we mentioned in the book 4 episode, we have now entered the part of the series where like things are changing a lot in the adaptation. And I think honestly it's things that they changed in book 4 and now they have to see it through, because it would be weird to add storylines in and be like, where was it in this part? So there's a lot. We're not going to cover all of them in this episode, but there are a lot of changes. It's crazy.
I know. And oh God. Okay. So it took me forever to pick maybe my top 3 that I was upset about, because the whole entire time watching the movie, I'm saying, I am so sad that this was left out. This made me upset that this was left out. It was, and even if it was just a small thing, there were so many things that these last couple books turned into the movies could have been 2 parts.
I completely agree.
To make it
and
good.
Again, I haven't like read the books and then watched the movies so close together. Like I watch the movies way more than I read the books, and I've read the books quite a lot. And so it was jarring to see just how many. I did go with 4 though. I wasn't cutting it down to 3. I was like, these all need to be talked about. I'll let you go first.
That's
though.
fine. You're good. So the first one is just a general sense. And maybe this is a personal, maybe it's a hot take, I don't know. But I hated Umbridge in the book. Okay? Hate her more than Voldemort. The movie, reading them and then watching, it fell flat in terms of how evil she was for me. Yes, she's evil, and I'm not discrediting how bad she was in the movie, but there was just so many other nuances that she did, like taking away the Quidditch from Harry, and I think it was George. It was George or Fred, whichever one. It was one of them, but I think she took it away from both. So it's one of those where taking that away and from making them watch it and see how bad their team was. There was just so many things that I think, I don't know, it would have been really nice to see her be hated even more on the screen. So I don't know, not a specific thing, just a general vibe. And like I said, hot take probably.
I understand it. I have to say though, I feel the complete opposite. I went into the book and I was like, oh,
Okay.
I'm going to have to read about Umbridge. I really can't stand her. I found her a little bit more tolerable to read. I mean, she's still terrible, but I could get through the book. The movie, she drives me nuts. And I think it's the way the actress plays her. Like, the mannerisms are just so perfect, to the point where that actress is also in The Crown. And it was really hard for me to watch her in The Crown because I was like, I can only see her as Umbridge. And like when she's now playing Queen Elizabeth, I was like, no, like I can't. But I did clock that in the book, which I was in the movie, which I was happy about that they made this change. She gives so many more rules at Hogwarts, like standing 8 inches away from, or 8 feet away from each other, no music. Like there's way more of those rules that they're tacking up, and like her going around and like tucking in their clothes and like that none of that happens in the book. But I do agree with you that we do miss like some of the things that she was more evil about. Like, she was terrible to the teachers with all the evaluations she was doing of them. And then I also had the Quidditch thing, so I guess I can just roll right into that, which I was so sad that they leave out.
Go for it, yeah.
The entire Quidditch storyline. Ron actually tries out for the team in book 5. In the movies, if you've seen them, this is a spoiler, but they make it seem in book 6 or movie 6 that that's his first time making the team. Like, he's been on the team. And then when Harry and then the twins both end up getting suspended, but from playing, Ron then goes on to win the Quidditch World Cup. Quidditch World Cup. The Quidditch Cup. The Gryffindor team wins it, like the House Cup. Harry doesn't get to participate in that. Ron also like isn't in the scene when they go to meet Hagrid's brother because he's playing Quidditch. Like there's like a lot of things that Quidditch storyline kind of rolls into, and like you said, it just plays like how evil she is that she takes that away from them.
Yeah, and I think for me it just really bothered me because like we said, the movie could have been longer, 2 parts, but just a lot of the things that would have been cool to see on screen and just how they really impact the rest of the series too. And like you said, the fact that we get an introduction to Ron playing Quidditch in the sixth movie is like, oh, we finally brought it back after 2 movies not having it. Oh yeah, by the way, now Ron's playing. So yeah. It's really weird. It's a jump.
We missed that like
it's odd.
Ginny ends up joining the team to fill one of the spots for her brothers. Like there's a whole thing and we miss all of that, which I think is a sad. But I understand they have to cut something.
Yeah, they do, and that's a big part. So I can understand it probably saved a lot of time for them. So I get it. So my next one was I put this all as question mark. Was I said that they changed, that they left out? This one was definitely left out, but friends teaching at Hogwarts after Trelawney was sacked, and the entire storyline with the Centaurs not being okay with Hagrid having grew up in the woods. They kind of made it seem as if they were more upset with Umbridge and the fact that she was having laws on them in the woods, and that was an interesting take, and I think that's probably what made her also be hated a bit more. But so I was a little upset because I really liked his character and I really liked the development that we get from him and how that teaches the students about all of that stuff and how it I don't know. I was sad I changed it, but I can understand why they did because it's a lot of extra that probably would have taken up too much time for no reason.
I also noticed that. I put it under indifferent for me. I like it in the book. I think it's really cool because he also teaches them about a different type of magic. He also points out like humans don't even know what they're talking about when they're looking at the stars, whatever. But like you said, it also places the dynamics in the Forbidden Forest. We get the callback to an earlier book when they are like, we told you not to come back to Harry. Also the message that like they know what Hagrid's doing and it's not going to work. We kind of lose out in that context. It also makes more sense why then they take Umbridge at the end. Like there's a whole bigger storyline, and I agree. Like it would have been cool to get that and just like different type of magical beings being at Hogwarts.
Yeah, and I think we kind of mentioned that even with the first movie about how there wasn't as much magical things, or you do get a little bit because of the fact they want to get you hyped for the movie, but as you go forward it's kind of, oh my god, there's so many magical things that were left out that I think just immerse you in the world so much more. So they had to remove something.
I agree. The number one thing I was sad about, which this also goes into like expanding the world, is the entire storyline of Mr. Weasley being at St. Mungo's. I hate that they cut this out because we don't ever see that there is a magical hospital that people can go to. All of a sudden we just have like a cut scene and then it's Christmas and it's Mr. Weasley just being like, you're the only reason why I'm alive, and like we don't really understand that like he was literally bleeding out, and Harry being able to be like, oh, I was the snake, like he's hurt, is the only reason why he actually is alive. Like he would have died, no one would have found him. And it's just like I'm so sad they cut that because there's so many good things that happen there. Obviously we get to experience St. Mungo's. We have a cameo where they see Lockhart in there and they're trying to explain to him like, you were our teacher, he just wants to give everyone autographs. We also see Neville visiting his parents, and that's when Ron and Hermione find out what happened to his parents because his grandmother spills it. And so there's like a lot of good points in that. We also see like Mr. Weasley, like he's trying to do human muggle medicine like with stitches and stuff, and it's just like a really cool different concept for what's going on in the magical world. And I really hope when they adapt this over to the TV show that they add that back in.
I really, really hope so. I also just want to see Neville's grandmother.
Yeah, same.
Because,
Same.
I mean, just the outfit that they make Snape go in the third movie, I need to see that on an actual woman.
Yeah.
Sorry. Need to see it.
Yeah. And I just feel like also by adding that in, they do show that Harry's having those visions, but the visions are portrayed differently in the movie, where it sounds like Voldemort's just saying Harry's name to him, but that's not how they are in the book. Harry's like seeing through Voldemort's eyes, and that's why he's like not understanding what it is. We're like, I feel like in the movie they have to kind of lead the audience a little bit more. It's like he's like, oh, he's clearly talking to me through my head. So maybe that's why they cut it, but I don't know. I just think it's such a cool progression in the book, and it also makes more sense why like he knows exactly where to go later at the end of the movie when they have to go to the ministry and they're in the Department of Mysteries to get the prophecy. Like he's been seeing that door all year through these attempts.
Yeah. I will say that I did not add this to my list, but it was one of the things that I was really annoyed about was how little they had to go through to get into.
Oh yeah, they cut room. All the stuff.
There's
that they do.
A whole section. Yeah. Right. And even down to what they have to deal with as they're battling all of the Death Eaters. There was so much there that I actually think it would have been really cool to see on screen.
Yeah, I completely agree. Also, it feels like there's like more students that go with them in the book. Just like there's more Order members that come and pick Harry up in the beginning. Like there's just, they've cut a lot of side characters in scenes.
Yeah. And I would say too, with the Order, you make the movie makes it seem like it's just the people you see at Grimmauld Place. But that's not true. There's a bunch of other people that are involved. You know, the one who was in St. Mungo's as well. And then the plant ended up killing him. There were just so many other things and aspects that added to that. There's more people involved, and it's not just us and Dumbledore, and that's it. They still have a good group that they can fight back the Death Eaters. So,
agree.
Yeah.
What's your?
All right. Is it you next,
you.
or is it me? Who's up next? So my last one that I had for Sadly Left Out was, or I guess maybe changed, was how much trouble Fred and George caused for Umbridge, not only during the time they were still at Hogwarts, but even after they left. The fact, and we talked about this, the fact that Peeves is not in this. Peeves literally does not take any orders from anyone. And Fred and George tell him, cause havoc for her, and he does. And there's so much that goes on. There's a swamp in the hall that Flitwick goes, I don't know how to do it. I'll have the head mistress do for us. And it just would have been so much funnier to see that too. Just how much the people rebel against her.
Yeah, I agree. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, like I think it's cool when they fly in and they do the fireworks and all that. But in the book, it's way more, and it's more spontaneous, almost like they just like, we don't need to be here, and they just go crazy. But yeah, in the movie, it's just like the fireworks, and then the rules fall off the wall. But yeah, the swamp, like I wish they added that, like just, and that lasted for days. They could not figure out how to get rid of it.
Yeah, and it just also added to the fact that, oh look, you sent Dumbledore away, and look at all the stuff that's happening while you're here. Fudge is not going to like the fact that you can't handle these students and control this school at all. You're supposed to be able to do this with all your decrees and everything. Yeah. So it was just, it was bummed, no. But
I agree. I noticed that too. I was like, oh, I wish this was a little bit more, but it happens. I had two other ones. So
go for it.
Again, I don't want to say too much because I don't know, people haven't read them or seen the movies, but I was really sad that they removed Harry's interview with the Quibbler and with Rita Skeeter, because one, it would just be a good callback to the last movie, and showing that Hermione still has like her finger over Rita. Like Rita cannot do anything. Hermione is like controlling her. Also, just doing we don't even get confirmation in this movie that Luna's dad is the editor-in-chief of the Quibbler. She's reading a Quibbler, but she doesn't say anything. And this just becomes important information later on. So I wish they had kept it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to give too much. So I just, yep, agreed.
And my last one that really crushes me, because I feel like it's just like the ultimate nail in her coffin of how much you hate her. You do not get the confession in the book that she's the one who sent the Dementors after Harry. I mean, in the movie, you don't get it. If I can't remember what I said. In the book, she like tells them, like, yeah, I did that. None of that in the movie.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I hate this woman even more.
Yeah, because she even says, I had to do something because we needed to get rid of you, essentially. And it's just, here's this little woman going over the mentors. Boop, 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 boop. You gotta go get Harry, thanks.
And she kind of like alludes from the beginning, because at the trial, she's like, are you alluding that the ministry? And yeah, she did.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, that would have been a really good one for them to add.
And it's like,
but
come on.
They just didn't. I don't know
2
why.
extra minutes.
They also, couldn't they have done that before the Centaurs took her away?
Or
And
they
just
say, they show like the Daily Prophet and it says like Umbridge to be suspended. Why couldn't you just say like Umbridge confesses?
Right. Yeah.
Because she's not suspended.
Yeah,
She's missing at the end of book 5.
Dumbledore has to literally go into the woods and get her and say, okay, let her be.
Ugh, I just wish we got that, because it's just like the ultimate, like, oh, I hate her even more.
Yeah, agreed. And it is interesting because all of a sudden they kind of mention that she's back. Because I think we do low-key not see her again in the movies, but I know in the books she comes back.
Thankfully, we will not see her in any more movies.
Yeah. So you're just left to wonder, how did she get
and
out
just
of
like
there?
as a side note,
in the
Manacled, the Harry Potter fan fiction that then became Alchemized, which is an amazing book if you've not read it. But in Manacled, she is a main character. And so when I started reading the fan fiction and I saw her pop up, I was like, oh, she's like running this whole like terrible program these people are in. I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Oh my God. Okay.
She's like a main character. Oh, it was terrible. And she was even worse. Yes.
Really? Okay.
Which was crazy.
All right. I mean, I'm still excited to read Alchemized. It's on my list.
Yeah. Oh, you'll know exactly
I want
who
to
the
read
character is
but
that's based off Umbridge.
Yeah. Kind of figured.
God, be kidding me. But yeah.
Oh my
We
gosh.
can transition now to happy changes.
Yes.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah. So the first one I had was after arriving to Grimmauld Place, Sirius's mother's portrait screams if any loud noise is made in the hallway. And this is in the book. They've removed it. All they have is Creature kind of whispering to a covered portrait, and there is no obnoxiousness, nothing. And I'm kind of happy they removed that, because even though as funny as it was in the book, just every time Tonks knocked something over, it went into actual pandemonium in the house. I'm just glad they left that out, because Grimmauld Place aspects weren't as well done as they could have been. So I'm just happy they kind of reduced it to bare minimum,
I agree. I love that the book spent so much time talking about them cleaning. I'm glad they took that all out. Like, I don't need to see this.
There was so much cleaning.
And the chapters are already long in these books. I'm like, we don't need that. Wasted time. Mine was that I actually like in the movie that the entire group, or the kids, all hear the prophecy when Harry grabs the ball at the Department of Mysteries, because in the book, he grabs it, but it doesn't say anything. And then Neville is the one who runs with it and ends up dropping it. So like that whole fight scene, as you alluded to, is all changed. But he doesn't find out what the prophecy is until later when he's talking to Dumbledore, and Dumbledore tells him the whole thing. So I like that the whole group is kind of clued in. Harry knows what's going on, and then we still get that scene with Dumbledore, but he's able to ask just more clarifying questions. I thought that was a nice change.
Yeah, I agree. It also, we didn't have to have the whole section at the end with Dumbledore. because that's kind of the only important reason to have that whole entire, monologue.
Yeah, so they were able to
does.
cut that down. Like, he was just like, I was going to tell you, blah, blah, blah. It also just, like, kind of makes more sense. You're grabbing it, and it says, like, only the person who it's about can grab it. So, like, of course, then it would start speaking it once the person grabs it. I do wish that we got the confirmation in the movie that it's Trelawney who's giving that. We don't get that, but book readers know.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, because I think you'd have to put 2 and 2 together. But when, I'm pretty sure in the third movie, doesn't Dumbledore say, oh, you heard Trelawney kind of go into one of her things. That might have been in the book too, but it's the only way you know that she would have been the potential person. Because they really stick to initials. Yeah. That's it. They just show her initials, but they move on from it pretty quick.
So I wish we got that. Yeah. But it's fine. I'm kind of happy though that like Ron and Hermione know what's going on.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do you have any other for?
I didn't have it listed on the outline for some reason, but I can talk about it. The one thing I was, and I mean this is nothing against Hagrid, but I was kind of excited that they just left it to he came back, he told them about his journey, but didn't really go too heavily into the Grop stuff. It was just kind of why do you have all these cuts on you? Oh, I'm fine, whatever. And then he shows them at the end. So it wasn't this elongated thing, which I feel like the book kind of really goes into. And it's fine. I'm not against it, but I liked how they shortened that a bit because it didn't need to be covered as much. You just got to the point. No, I agree.
I actually had a Hagrid thing listed as for like under indifferent along the same lines. Like he gives them the synopsis of like where he's been and with the Giants. I'm kind of fine that they cut like the longer story he gives and the whole point of like Olympe, the headmaster of Beauxbatons from the 4th book, that she was with him this whole time. Like I don't think we needed that for the movie. It's not integral, especially because they're not showing all the other order members.
Exactly.
It's just cool. Like in the book you get to see more about the Giants and all the things that they were having to do, but I don't think we needed it for the movie.
No. It was probably a good storyline to just cut out at that time. And like I meant. What about you? Do you have another one?
No, my only other one, but I had already mentioned it, was that I kind of like that they added more rules from Umbridge because I feel like it just really makes you hate her more. So I guess we can move to indifferent if you have any.
Yeah, I had one. And maybe this was more on the sad side, but a little bit indifferent, was you had mentioned how Umbridge has such a just hate for all of the teachers and really wants to judge them and make sure they're following her rules. And there's a whole section that goes into career advice. And I just think it would have been funny to see McGonagall and Umbridge go at it at the career coaching, but I'm also kind of indifferent that, it's fine that they left it out because that's a whole section that, yes, it goes into the further movies on why the fact that, they're able to take certain classes, and I won't get into it just because I don't want to spoil anything, but it does impact their life, but it just, it would have been just really funny to see them battle it out a bit more because I feel like they did McGonagall a little bit dirty with not giving her enough space to really lose her mind.
I agree because they only have that one encounter on the stairs and then it kind of looks like McGonagall is giving in because she steps down a step. But also if they added that, it gives context to why the owls are important because it does decide what careers you can be part of, like you said, what classes you can take, things like that. And McGonagall goes hard. She's like, I will go out of my way to do whatever Harry needs to get him into whatever career he wants. Like, she just hates Umbridge. Hates her. Honestly, not enough of the other teachers.
Agreed. And I think that's kind of why it was indifferent for me, was just there were so many other things that they left out with the teachers that was just I guess if you're removing one of them, you got to remove them all and not really give them a part. But what can you do?
I agree.
Yeah. What about you?
One that I had on my list was I'm kind of okay with the fact that they changed it in the movie to being Cho as the one who kind of rats out the Dumbledore's army to Umbridge. In the book, it's Cho's friend, and she was always like hesitant from the beginning. I think it's fine because like Cho was already an established character. We don't need to add someone else in. I'm also fine that they kind of cut down on the Cho Harry romance. Like there are a few more interactions with them in this book. I think the mistletoe scene is enough. I'm fine with it. There's also like some jealousy moments in the book that like just like I don't think we needed them. If we were laying the groundwork for a future relationship, I think it'd be fine, but we don't need it.
Yeah, agreed. And it kind of just, I mean, it even brings into Quidditch a bit with how Cho plays for Hufflepuff and just the, you know, how her emotions impact some of the games and how that ties in with Ron. And ironically, it's just as one thing, little small things ironically build up to bigger storylines that were left out. So, but I agree with you. I don't think we needed another person. I think it was totally fine to have her and just kind of move on with she was the bad person in this moment. And then, you know, they realized that, oh no, she was given the truth serum to pretty much tell all the secrets. So
yeah,
it worked
and
out.
of course, there's like little, like you said, little things that are taken out but they lead to bigger things. Like when they have the initial meeting in Hogsmeade, people are overhearing, and that's how Umbridge has an inkling. Also, like we are missing the whole fact that Hermione and Ron are head boy and head girl. That's all removed, and Harry's pissed about, and that's why there's so much angst from him to begin with. So there's just like little things that I think if they had more time, they could have expanded on, but they were condensing it down.
Yeah. One thing I know I joked about the fact that Dumbledore's speech at the end to Harry, you know, they with being cut out with the prophecy. The one thing that I think would have been really good to include the entire movie, like you said, Harry kind of feels alone, where Ron and Hermione have their thing. They're head boy and head girl. They kind of have to do that. They're prefix. I'm sorry. Not head boy, head girl. Yeah, I'm completely off on the movies.
But,
I'm
jumping ahead. No, I
right.
No,
you're good.
I thought they were head boy.
Oh no, I thought they didn't get that.
Maybe they are prefix. Whatever. They're in charge.
Oh God, whatever they're called, they have some authority in the world. But when Dumbledore talks to him at the end, he apologizes for the fact that he made Harry feel so alone, and that he really couldn't talk to his uncle at all, even though Sirius gave him a mirror that would have let him talk to it, like a bunch of whole other storylines that were left out. But there was just, I think that actually would have helped because Harry's so disgusted with Dumbledore the entire movie, and then we cut to the fact that, oh, they weren't lying, and then there's nothing really there. It just kind of ended. So there's just a lot of parts that at the end I think make Harry be okay with Dumbledore again that aren't talked about.
Also, and this will be my final thing, my honorable mention, justice for Fred and George in the movie. Because in the book, they're hustling. They're entrepreneurs. Like, they are talking about all their products that they've made. They're testing things out constantly. They're getting people to sign up to be testers. Yeah, testing it on themselves. Like, we see the ears in the beginning, but, like, there's a lot of conversation about the ears. We do see, like, a kind of montage of some kids, like, being coached, and they're, like, getting elongated chins and stuff, but it's such a big thing in the book, and Hermione's like, Ron, we have to tell them, like, they can't be doing this. Like, they can test it on themselves, but they can't be testing it on the students. Going into, like, how you said they cause so much more destruction. Like, they have all these crazy products that they're trying to sell to the students. But in the book, after they have, like, their big explosion moment, they tell everyone, come visit us at Diagon Alley. Not in the movie. And then that's when Ron finds out that Harry gave them his Triwizard Tournament winnings. Does Ron even know in the movie world?
Yeah, I don't think so. Probably not.
And then all of a sudden we're just going to open one of the movies and we're just going to be at their joke shop.
Yeah, it's very choppy in the way that they do it. It kind of just looks like they ran off to not be involved with school and go back home. But we all know Molly Weasley, and that would not be the case that they would be able to go home. So they obviously had to go somewhere else that they would have, been welcome to.
We just,
if they were.
We miss out on their advertising.
I know. Oh my gosh, even the testing on themselves when they're having to play Quidditch, and Fred's like, all these boils are popping, it's so uncomfortable. And I could, every time I laugh, like, these poor guys, these poor two, but it's for the better of everyone else. They're making, cool, cool products to buy.
And they have all those things so people can get out of class. Like, they have so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just upset they didn't get their advertising moment in the movie. And I feel like that would have been nice. Like, they put the big W up. Like, you can't just have them come back onto the screen and be like, visit us in Diagon Alley.
Yeah, I know. And even it written in the fireworks.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for that.
Like, come visit us. And
drop your address.
I thought that happened, but it didn't.
Yeah. So it's just like all these little things that add up. Mm-hmm. Also, like Ron getting a new broom. Like, there's just.
Also, Neville getting a new wand. His wand was his father's. And part of me thinks that's why it didn't really work for him, because it's supposed to be the wand chooses the wizard. I know he's abysmal on a couple of things because of confidence, but that's another thing. He gets a wand out of the fact that it's destroyed in the fight. So it's just small things. I have too many honorable mentions that could be, and then it'd just be my whole entire list. But there were a lot of changes. Yeah, there were a lot. I'm curious to see again what has changed in the sixth, because this is our last one that we have just a solid movie on, because obviously the seventh one is the 2. So I don't know how many will change in the 7th. I think they might, or remove. I think they'll change more. I don't think there'll be a lot removed. So
we'll see. Okay, so would you be? Are you picking the book or the movie?
I'm picking the book.
I think you've picked the book on every single one. I'm also picking the book on this one, though, because Umbridge is way more tolerable to me in the book. Like, she is a nightmare in the movie.
And it's funny, for me, like I had said, a hot take of the fact that she's so much worse, in my opinion, in the book. But I love it, because I truly think I hate her more than Voldemort. He's just obsessed with the boy who is ruining his life and, his being, alive forever, and she's just miserable.
Oh my god, I hate her so much. And like, I love the color pink, and she ruins it.
Yeah. Oh god, all the cats.
And
honey, why?
Yeah, it's bad. I really hate her. Also because, like, we only see that one scene really where Harry, I must not tell lies, and it goes into his skin. But in the book, he's there so often.
Yeah, it's pretty much a permanent tattoo at that point.
She is one of the worst characters.
And it also, I think for me, with how bad she is in this one, when she comes back in others, it makes me hate her more because of what she does, or just how the events kind of play out. I mean, obviously we don't get to see her in the movies, I don't think, but
I hate her so much. She's up there with Bellatrix Lestrange for me.
I will say she's so well written that I despise her, but I like the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just
like, oh, I hate you so much, but I could read this book over and over again. It's so well done.
No, I'm definitely going book. There's so much more nuance. I feel like that'll be my pick for probably the rest of the series, just because there's so many details. But I do like the movie, though. The movie's well done.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, all of them I like. It's not that they're bad. It's not, when I say I choose the book, it's not because they did a terrible job at making this into a movie. It's just aspects you like a lot more.
Yeah, I agree.
So in our next episode, we are going to be diving into March reads. So all the books that we read during the month of March. For more things Booktrovert, follow us on TikTok and Instagram at BooktrovertsPod, and you can find us same thing on Fable Book Club. So stay tuned. See you next time.
Bye.